Alright, well, I just ran aground. Oh, we're moving again. Well, it's towing very poorly. It keeps getting sucked into the motor. In today's adventure, I'm using my mini houseboat to push the barge I made in my last video 150 miles in the Sacramento River. This journey is starting at the Posse Grounds boat ramp in Redding, California, and will take us to Colusa, California. The rodeo was happening, so I had to sneak in to quickly launch my boat. Alright, I've made it to Redding. This is the mighty Sacramento River out there. It is flowing real quick. Just downstream over there is going to be the Sundial Bridge. We'll see that in a minute. Starting off here in town, I'm going to tow on the hip. That way I have good control of the barge. And we will get underway here before we have any unwanted attention. Here we are. Bye-bye, Doc. And what lays ahead are rapids right away. I'm gonna go over there. Some have suggested my mini boat is only suitable for very protected waters. I wish to prove the seaworthiness of this vessel by sailing it through numerous Class 1 and 2 rapids. Ahead is the Sundial Bridge, completed in 2004. This world-famous bridge is a symbol of Redding. The shadow of the cantilevered tower is cast upon stone monuments to the north, and it's calibrated to tell time on the summer solstice. Sporting a flat bottom and push knees on the bow, my mini houseboat was in part inspired by the towboats that would have once plied the Sacramento River. I had a friend who built a mini train he could ride on. I thought that was pretty neat, but the problem with that is you have to build a mini railroad to run the train on too. Being fascinated in industrial vessels, I realized I could build a mini towboat so I could enjoy the same sort of experience that you'd have on a mini train, but I could use my towboat on any lake or river without having to build a mini railroad in my garden. Having built the towboat motherlode, I felt it was only natural to build a mini barge to accompany it. I have seen many people build mini tugs, but I've never seen any mini tug tow a barge. The next question was what cargo I could put in the barge. I wanted to carry real cargo, not just some silly placeholder. I settled on using this barge to collect garbage from places that could only be accessed by boat along the trip. Alright, the purpose of this float is, at least the reason I'm going to make up for myself to do such a crazy trip, is to collect trash from the river, and we just got our first piece. We got these shoes, and we got a Banton beach towel, Neosporin, and some toilet paper. We'll get that rounded up. I was greeted by these bluffs right on the other side of the bridge. They were very stunning, but I didn't get a chance to film it by hand because I was busy driving the boat. I'll get the boat set up tonight. I'll give you a tour of it in the morning. I just kind of tossed everything into the boat, and this is the Aqua Golf driving range. They use floating golf balls and they're caught in that boom. I'm going to spend the first night here in Redding and go see Pam Tillis play at the Cascade Theater. Somewhere in there I was planning to camp. Somebody else started camping here. I'm going to whip it around and go a little further down. Just found our second piece. Nice. We'll get those tossed in the trash bag. I got the boat tied up with 2 lines. One off to a fairly meaty tree over there. And this one goes off to like a little shrub. But doing something. I'm gonna make camp over here for the night. It's nice and quiet. It's relatively secluded. I think I can walk along the shore that way and get out to go to that concert. Before I leave, I'm going to move the spare stuff into the cabin and we'll lock everything up. And I'm going to get out of here pretty soon so I can get over to the venue. Alright, I just left the boat back there. Hopefully nobody messes with it. It's well hidden. I don't think anybody will see it. I'm walking out to the road. I'm going to catch an Uber and go over to the venue. I just walked over here. I'm near the venue, but I'm utterly famished, so I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat before the show. The burger was excellent. The Cascade Theater doesn't allow cameras inside, so you just have to have been there to experience the show. I got back to the boat pretty late. I could hear trains running through the valley all night. I'm going for a walk this morning when the sun gets up. Despite what the scenery says. We're actually in the middle of downtown Reading. So, for breakfast this morning, I'm gonna make something cold. I think I'm gonna make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That way I don't draw a bunch of attention with the stove. Before I make breakfast, I'll give you a tour of the place. We got a wood stove. The kitchen area has a sink in it. I store all my food up there. And then back underneath where I'm sitting is my bedding. Over here is the barge. In that tub there is charcoal, my water. There are trash bags. The goal of this trip is to collect a bunch of trash. So I brought gloves and trash bags. And then brought some gas back there, and in the bag's my anchor. A few minutes. All right, friends, that's gonna be breakfast. Apricot preserve and peanut butter sandwich, fistful of nuts, and some dried fruit. Towing on the hip worked pretty good, except this is digging in, and I gotta move that forward fender. We're gonna tweak these things real quick, and then I think we'll get underway. I moved that strap so it goes around the back now, and that's not chafing into the rub rail. And I moved the forward fender up so it's actually fending off the two vessels. I am going to untie myself from the bushes and get underway. On May 8, 1850, the 42-ton steamboat Jack Hayes became the first riverboat to reach Reading. This route was only usable during periods of flood. Other steamboats during the gold rush would occasionally make the voyage here from Sacramento when weather permitted. The flat-bottom hull on Motherlode offers great stability. I can't help but feel like my voyage is in a way historic. This part of the river belongs to drift boats and kayakers now. I suspect it's been a very long time since any cargo vessel has made a voyage on this part of the river. Believe it or not, Motherlode is not the first tug to tow a barge through here. In February 2023, Pacific Tugboats completed an environmental project here with their truckable tug, Harbor Cadet. I stopped at the Bonneview boat ramp to use the head and throw my garbage away. I kept pushing south. There was a small group of islands I thought I might be able to find some trash on. I enjoyed how beautiful this garden was. I stopped on a gravel island to take a break. I have made a little rock anchor over here to keep my boat. Or this is heavier than my real anchor. You just wrap the rope around it. I made a second anchor over there, just to hold the back of the boat in. I also found trash over here. We'll get that cleaned up. A piece of plastic, cushion. Back in there, I see more. We gotta stick and dig it out. It's 9:30 right now. First thing I'm gonna do is take a nap, and then I'm gonna fix lunch, and I think I want to do a little walk around this island. Take a moment to look at some of the issues we're having on this trip. This is the starboard side and the stern, and I got a little bit of moisture here. It's not leaking, it's just moist. The joint between this and this is not as tight as it should have been. It's coming off of here, dribbling down to there, and collecting back here. I'm inclined maybe tonight. Well, I'm not gonna do anything about it right now. The wood might swell up and just seal up on its own. Hopefully. Another issue I've been having is back here. This cable's been getting caught underneath that switch, or that knob. And when it does that, it revs the engine up. Not ideal. If I flip it around, that works. What I really need is a small tie, and I could tie that up over there to keep it out of the way. Something on the engine's a little moist with oil. Oh, it's spitting oil around the oil fill. This engine always coughs up a little bit of oil out of the intake. The crankcase breather comes back around into the air filter, and every time I've had it out, it just spits a little bit of oil out of that air filter. I don't like it. I was gonna put a catch can on it, but it was so big, and I tried to set it right there. It just wasn't gonna work. Another issue we've seen with this boat and storing it, this isn't some problem with the voyage, but my caulking is pulling back. It was well caulked. What was well caulked a couple of years ago is no longer as tight as it should be. The barge has been dry. That little bit of water right there is from me stepping in and out. When I built this boat, I used Tight Bond glue,
which is waterproof, and it clearly worked to make good joints all around the boat. But in the corners, it's always hard, and things are going to move in different directions. So I think if you do this, you should use Gorilla Glue. The other two boats I used Gorilla Glue on, no problems whatsoever. You can see the barge is nice and tight. So maybe stay away from tight pond.
I found a piece of packaging. This is that twist tie stuff from the ratchet straps that I bought. I'm going to use it to secure that cable. Tying it up with that twist tie worked to keep it off that knob.
For lunch today, I'm going to be making tomato sandwiches. Alright, lunch today is a simple tomato salad, an orange, and a sparkling water. Do you know that Shackleton, when he provisioned his Antarctic expeditions, brought sparkling water with him? I figured he must have known more about provisioning for a voyage than I did, so I should follow what he does.
The tug and barge got lots of attention. Here we see somebody cruising by to check it out. After lunch, I walked around the island looking for trash. You know, I did not expect to see cactus this far north. I was just walking around and I filled up about half a bag of garbage already on this island, and I found this. It's a plastic parking barricade. I'm gonna drag it back to the boat. Found someone's old camp, I think. It's got a picnic table back there. Some bags. There's a bed frame. There's something back here too. I don't know what it is. Oh. Mattress, pan, and a water tank. I'm gonna gather up all of this and haul it out.
Alright, walking back and forth all day, worked up a mighty appetite. I'm going to have a hearty lentil soup for dinner. I'm going to saute an onion. I'm going to put on top of the soup. And I'm going to toast a couple of tortillas to be able to eat with the soup. These guys traipsing back and forth across the island. I'm pretty sure that my clothes might have ticks on them, So I changed into my pajamas here and I put my other clothes outside. The potatoes are nice and soft now. I'm going to take them off and we're going to toast a couple of tortillas. When I'm toasting them, I like to watch when they start to puff up like that. It's a good sign that they're ready for a flip. Once this stove gets going, it burns very clean. You see his heat coming off of it. Cooking with the stove makes it a little bit warmer in here, but it's not that much warmer with the door open. Ambient temperature today was 80. Right now it's 88 in here. The beer I brought on this trip today is Sierra Nevada, and their brewery is located in Chico, which we'll be sailing right by Chico, so I thought it'd be a good choice for our adventure out here. Something I've noticed about the beers in this general area, like even the beer I had yesterday up in Reading, they tend to like really hoppy beers. Like a lot of the beers here are a little on the hoppier side, so maybe it's a cultural thing, or maybe there are hop farms nearby, I'm not sure. Alright, so I've got the onions and potatoes, a couple of tortillas, lentil soup, and the beer isn't even warm because the hull, the boat, tends to be a little bit cool, so the beer's been sitting down there on the hull are cooler than room temp. I'm super glad I made these rails wide enough to walk on. Otherwise, when I had the barge full of junk like this, I would have had trouble getting from the forward end to the aft end. I carry spare water in this bag, and then as needed I can refill my little pitcher there. The bag here has a pinhole in it somewhere. It seems to be leaking. I can't find it though. It's probably in one of these corners. The corners are thinner. Oh, is that? That might be it. Oh, I'm not worried about it. I'm really happy with how much garbage we got hauled out today. If I can find 5 to 7 more bags, I'll call it quits there. Way down there in the bottom is that blue parking barricade. Put that on the bottom because it's super heavy. I can't believe this, but it's almost cool enough where I'm cold. I'm gonna get a little tiny smoldering fire going in the stove and it'll warm us right up. I got the stove going for a little bit of heat. It's throttled all the way down. And we got a CO detector. That's showing nothing. So we know that we're not gonna die in the night. I just got up. It's funny. I slept better like this on this thin sleeping pad and a sleeping bag than I do on a ship. Although I think that not having pressure to wake up at a particular time and go to work probably plays into that. There was still more trash to clean up on this island. I decided to stay a second day to get the rest of it. We're keeping it simple with breakfast today. Just a slice of toast with some preserves on it, a couple of slices of dried fruit, porridge, and instant coffee.
want to pull this cushion out of the water and give it a chance to dry out a bit. There's a bunch of evidence of beavers on this island. The beavers around here live in dens in the bank, and they don't build dams. I think this might be one of their dens, but I'm not sure, and I'm not going to go poking around and disturb an angry beaver. This is the first snake I found. I've honestly expected to find more. Poor guy, I feel bad for disturbing him. All right, these are gonna be the last 2 bags. I already have enough garbage staged over there. The barge is gonna be full. I can't haul out everything. This is it afterwards. I've hauled out 2 air mattresses, 3 tents, a cot, a bed frame, a bunch of bags of garbage, just general garbage, a dog bed, 3 sleeping bags. Tent number 4 is over here. There's evidence of needles, so fuck it, it stays. And then tent number 5 is so buried so deep, I'm not crawling into those thorns to get that. You know, for as much as I've hauled out from here, I think there's just as much still here. Over here on the bench, it says Alex, and then the expiration date on some of the food that I found was 2023. So we can figure that this stuff has been sitting out here for about 3 years. And given the way that it disintegrates now when the sun has broken it all down, it's destined to become microplastics in the environment. But we've removed what we can. Oh, and I got 3 barbecues pulled out of here. So, oh, is that a hoe? That might be a hoe. What is that? Oh, sick, a hoe. Taking that home. We'll put a handle on that bad boy. Be a memory of this trip. Actually, not a bad hoe. Look at it. It's forged. It's got a forged socket on it. That's a nice hoe. Somehow I've got to get all of this to fit down there in that barge. And it's already half full. I'm gonna deal with this project after lunch. I think for lunch, we'll go for a little picnic out here on the island. That helicopter circled me twice. It's like he's cruising by and then saw the boat and circled back for a second look at it. Over here I'd spotted a couple of chairs when I was walking around that somebody stashed in the bushes. I'm gonna borrow your chair. I'll put it back when I'm done. Whoever stashed them there. There's a little campfire ring over here. Though clearly it's been a while since it's been used. So you could use it. You just have to chop that bush down. That's not what we're here for. I'm gonna have a picnic here on the water. Tomato sandwiches are just so refreshing on hot days. Don't know what it is. I think the fuzz might be onto me.
Next I'm going to go through, I'm going to find the heaviest bags and we'll put those on the bottom. We got to load it up. I've thrown a cargo net over it to hopefully stop anything from shifting while we're underway. The bed frame's tied down to the ratchet strap, and I got enough room back there to still get to my provisions. It's getting kind of late in the day. It's 2 or 3 o'clock already, so I'm not going to leave here till tomorrow morning. But man, what a cool trip. I get to camp here another night. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm hiding out inside. It's mid-afternoon right now and it is hot outside. But thankfully here inside the barge, it is only 90.
A fish and game deputy said hi this afternoon. He was cool, just smitten by the boat. He even bought one of my ship's hats. And you can too. They're $35 with shipping. I also have hand-drawn postcards if you don't want to spend that much on a hat. The proceeds will help cover the cost of renting a truck and the dump fees associated with properly disposing of this junk. To order one, please email me here.
It's a bit warm today, so I want to make something cold for dinner. And I'm going to fix up some chicken wraps. I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, unfortunately I did not pack any pepper, which would be perfect on this. So it's just chicken, mayonnaise, and red onions. But it's a nice cool meal for a hot day. Are you guys slacking? You almost let me forget to take a beer out for dinner. Unbelievable. Thankfully somebody remembered. I used too much water today. I was only hoping to use about half a gallon a day, and you can see today I used about 3/4 of a gallon. I'll just have to drink more beer tomorrow. Less water. There are mosquitoes out along the river, and they can get pretty diabolical in the evenings like this. So I've got a citronella candle. But I don't think the mosquitoes like combustion, because when I run the stove, they don't hang around either. So whether it's burning wood or burning wax, something about burning stuff drives the mosquitoes away. The foxes are going crazy tonight. After pretty much constantly charging my devices and such, this deep cycle battery is still at 13 volts. Well, it's just dropped down to 12.9 today, but close enough. 13, 12.9. It should last for the next week, 2 weeks. No problem.
This is going to be too much adventure for one video, so I suggest you subscribe so you don't miss the hijinks that ensues on the voyage south.